We are in the Proto Man Cave. It is incredibly warm out. I decided to smoke the Acid Cold Infusion, kind of give the Man Cave a test before I really put up the finishing touches and all that. But going over the tobacco for the cigar, it features obviously a Connecticut, I don't think it's broadleaf, it's just a Connecticut wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. Going over the dry puff, it is incredibly pleasant, sweet. It is fruity with a very light kind of wood earth note. We're about through the first third. I gotta say it started off strong, very sweet, some kind of creamy wood notes, and I do get a little bit of like a light tea flavor on this. I'm not a big tea drinker, but it's reminiscent of it. But let's get into that second third and see what I'm thinking. Alright, we're about through the second third on this cigar, and I guess it gets very, very earthy. Maybe a little bit of like a sour or bitter note. There's still kind of that sweetness on the infused, like the sweetened cap, but I'm not really getting much. It's just kind of bitter and sour and earthy. Alright, we finished the cold infusion. Now on the final third, really, it just got earthy. It started off really good, but ended very poorly. I'm probably just going to give it a 78, call it a day. Probably not a cigar I'm going to come back to. Going over notes, this thing overall was phenomenal. Great draw, burn, and construction, no problems. It was a little spongy, but really, there wasn't any problems from it. Price range, you're going to find these guys online in about the $10 range. I spent about $12 at my local brick and mortar. And finally, is the cigar noob friendly? I'm actually going to say yes. Wasn't the biggest fan, but I definitely think it's nice and sweet at the beginning. It's a good size, it's not too thick, and it's definitely on the lighter end, which is something I could always recommend for a newer smoker. I will see you guys next time.